Welcome to the Connected Leaders Academy virtual conference designed to reshape your vision of transformation. As we navigate the evolving business landscape, our speakers will unveil innovative strategies to manage and initiate change. Prepare to adapt, innovate, and lead, ensuring your role in this transformative era.
Hello, everyone. I am Lynn Banks, and today we're going to be speaking about intuition and how intuition has the power to change your life in positive ways. Intuition is the ability to understand or know something instantly without the need for conscious reasoning. It often manifests as a gut feeling or a sudden insight, guiding individuals in decision making and problem solving. Some experts agree that intuition can be better understood with embracing the scientific explanation, which states that intuition is basically accumulated knowledge, past experiences, and emotional cues, allowing a person to quickly assess situations and make sound judgments. While intuition can oftentimes seem mysterious, it is in fact rooted in the brain's ability to process complex information rapidly, often leading to valuable insights that may not be immediately apparent through logical analysis. Intuition is the highest form of intelligence, transcending all individual abilities and skills, and that comes from John E. Walker. So today was a little challenging. I had a lot of challenges with getting set up with Zoom. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share a little bit about what intuition means to me. And so what I did was I shared a brief overview as far as the definition of what intuition is. And so what I'll do is I'm going to share a story about how intuition kind of began to guide me. So early on in my childhood, I of course, when you're a child, right? We're just starting out. We're a clean slate, and of course we have, I guess we're sponges in a way. And so early on in my childhood, I began to kind of get I guess intuitive messages, right? And when you're young, you kind of just go with it. And so as I had gotten older, I realized that intuition was playing a big role in my life in a positive way. And so being spiritual, a lot of times folks, as far as intuition is concerned, or mediumship, or even psychic abilities, right? Sometimes they get a bad stigma as far as being associated with that. So intuition indeed is subconscious knowledge. Where the brain kind of stores a vast amount of knowledge, and then as we get older, our experiences enable us to, um, kind of, think about those experiences and make decisions accordingly. So, um, one of the most recent intuitive transformations that I had was when I was driving. I was driving and going through a really difficult time in my life. I was driving to meet a mentor, a very significant person in my life, and just had this feeling. So my first thought was, okay, I just need to turn around. I'm not really up to this today, right? We all have those days where we kind of just want to stay in bed, right? Like Jose had explained earlier, just stay in bed and kind of, not go through with something. But I think, we all are familiar with the gut feeling, right? We just have that feeling that we need to push forward. And a lot of folks, they kind of dismiss that. And that's, when there are missed opportunities, or for instance, there are situations to where someone, used their intuition and they escaped death even, right? There's a lot of examples with 9/11 where someone, missed a flight or what have you. And so today, again, I'm speaking about intuition and how it can change your life. And so, with that being said, I have a very strong gift, and I have kind of grappled with that for a few years, where I didn't want to be considered a psychic or a medium. I just knew that it was intuition, and I followed that very strongly. And that's a lot of that is through mindfulness. Um, and so when I was able to recognize it, I think that the key is, of course, to recognize the gift, whatever gift that you may have, is to recognize that and be comfortable with it. Because I think at first, when I realized that my intuition was very strong, it scared me. And then I was very fearful of people judging me, as far as because I never, put myself out there as being a medium or a psychic or any of that. So I just said, well, I guess I'm an intuitionist. And so it wasn't until recently, it wasn't until recently I was comfortable with it, because I was raised Catholic. And then a situation happened, and I became more spiritual and more accepting of my gift. And so now I want to share with folks that, in my opinion, I believe that everyone has the ability to dig even deeper, right? We have that, I say, God given gift of intuition, but we also have the ability, everyone, in my opinion, has that ability to dig a little bit deeper. And I know that, I was kind of reading here about how intuition, is subconscious knowledge, life experiences, which it is, very much so. But I do believe that if we practice, there are some practice that some uh, some things that we can implement, as far as in my experience, what I did to kind of heighten my awareness a little bit more. And mindful practice, paying attention to our emotions is very, very critical. I was in a very toxic relationship, and it wasn't until years later I realized that it was more of a narcissistic type situation. So I was gaslit a lot, and I was never validated. And so one of the hindrances in what I experienced with intuition is that I was very doubtful. I was kind of convincing myself that what was happening wasn't real, right? And so that really, it kind of hindered my ability to say, man, this is really happening. And so paying attention to those emotions, using visualization. I know that a majority of successful entrepreneurs, they do manifestation, right? They take time to pause and breathe, as Austin James Haynes would say. One big thing for me is I have something that's called a decision journal. And what I do in my decision journal is, it's kind of like my accountability partner. So what I do daily is I go through scenarios, and some days there really there's not a scenario, but I use my decision journal. Journaling is very important. So I use my decision journal to um, kind of reassess what transpired that day, whether it be personal, business, and that kind of enables me to, for instance, if that particular situation happens again. And so decision journals are very important. But I do want to definitely stress that, in our daily lives, we tend to just be busy. I know right now I'm very kind of anxious right now. As far as, I feel like, okay, maybe I'm all over the place, but that's, is what it is. And so I really want to start communicating the importance of intuition and how we can, all utilize it. And again, a lot of times we get up and we're at full speed ahead, right? It's like we have all of these things that we want to accomplish. But I think it's important, especially in those situations to where they could literally change your life. And in fact, I I literally missed recently missed the lottery by two numbers. And that's a whole detailed story, but that is a situation where I did not follow my intuition. And in fact, my son brought it to my attention. He said, "Ma, you know when you were sitting in the car and you rattled off those two numbers, but you kind of, didn't follow through." So no pun intended, but I'm like, wow, Dana, you might be onto something here. And and that's not to say, we should use our intuition for, to win the lottery. I mean, maybe some people do, but so I really intuition is very critical. Um, and the quote, and what I want to do is I want to share that quote again because it's very relevant. It's very relevant to being an entrepreneur. And it's Johnny Walker. It says, John E. Walker. It says, intuition is the highest form of intelligence, transcending all individual abilities and skills. And so, what that quote means to me is that intuition encompasses each and every aspect of our lives. And so, again, every one of you has the ability to utilize that intuition. And later on, you have the opportunity to join me in my private group, and I'll probably, be a little bit more relaxed, and I can go into intuition a little bit, more deeper and in a casual sense. But I I trust that you something that I said made sense to you today, and I appreciate the grace that's given. Right, we're all on this journey together, and I uh, I appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to come today and share a little bit of my world. Because as far as intuition is concerned, it has truly, truly transformed my life in the most positive way. And again, I definitely welcome you to drop in later today and in a more casual sense, and definitely dive a little bit deeper and answer any questions that you may have. So thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. We'll see each other soon.
Thank you for participating in today's enlightening session. As we transition to our next expert, remember that each strategy and insight is a step toward becoming a transformative leader in your field. Visit connectedleadersacademy.com to stay engaged and informed. The journey of change is ongoing. Let's move forward together.